It was a hot afternoon in the city, the kind of day when the streets glimmered with heat and life seemed to move just a little slower. In front of the grand white gates of the Patel mansion, a brand new sports car purred to a stop. Behind the wheel sat Arhav Patel, the only son of one of the wealthiest businessmen in town. He was handsome, confident, and reckless, the kind of young man who grew up believing that money could buy almost anything, even loyalty. People looked at Arhav with admiration, but secretly, many whispered about his arrogance. He was known for brushing past drivers, waiters, and even the maids who worked in his own home, as though they were invisible. His father, proud of their fortune, often told him, "People will always want to be near you, Arhav. Money attracts everyone." And Arhav believed it, but life has a way of teaching lessons that no amount of money can erase. That afternoon, Arhav sped off in his car, music blasting, sunglasses hiding his tired eyes after another night of partying. As he turned onto a narrow road near the market, a delivery truck swerved sharply to avoid a dog. Arhav didn't have time to react. His car spun out, crashed against a wall, and before he knew it, the heavy truck tipped slightly, its load shifting and came crashing down onto the side of his car. The world grew dark, the weight of metal pinning his body down. He screamed, the sound muffled by twisted steel. The bustling market nearby fell silent for a moment, then people rushed toward the scene. Vendors, shoppers, men on motorbikes all stopped to stare. Some pulled out their phones, recording, some shook their heads, a few muttered, "That's the Patel boy, the millionaire's son," but nobody stepped forward. The truck was heavy, dangerous to approach, and the car looked like it could explode at any moment. Helping him meant risking their own lives. One man sighed, "Someone will call the fire department, let the professionals handle it." Another said, "His family has money, they'll take care of him." Minutes passed. Arhav's voice grew weaker. His hand stretched out through the broken window, blood dripping from his arm. "Help, someone, please help me," his cries echoed, but no one moved closer to them. He wasn't a human being in pain, he was a symbol of power and wealth, and they assumed help would come eventually. But time was slipping away. Just then, from the edge of the crowd, a frail woman holding a small baby stepped forward. Her sari was faded, her slippers worn thin. She was Mira, one of the maids who occasionally worked at the Patel mansion, cleaning floors so polished she could see her reflection in them. Most days, Arhav didn't even look at her when she served him water, or passed him by in the halls. The baby in her arms fussed, but Mira held him close and whispered, "Shhh, Beta, we must help." Her eyes turned to Arhav's trapped figure. For a moment she hesitated. She was just one woman, weak and carrying a child, but then, courage flickered in her heart. She couldn't ignore his cries the way everyone else had. "Somebody, help me lift this," she shouted at the crowd. People looked at her, like she was mad. A vendor scoffed, "Are you crazy? You'll die with him." But Mira didn't back down. She placed her baby carefully in the arms of a stunned woman nearby, and ran toward the truck. Her hands pressed against the metal, trembling but determined. "He is someone's son, please, for God's sake, help me." Her desperation pierced the hesitation around her. One young man finally stepped forward. Then another. And another. Inspired by this poor maid's courage, a handful of strangers put their strength together. With every ounce of energy, they heaved at the tilted truck. Arhav groaned in pain, his breaths shallow. The crowd strained, sweat dripping down their faces, until at last the truck shifted just enough for Mira to reach inside. Her hands, scut from years of scrubbing floors, touched his arm. "Hold on, Beta, I've got you." With the help of the others, she pulled him free, dragging his broken body away from the wreckage just before the car's engine burst into smoke. People gasped. Arhav lay on the ground, his chest rising faintly. His eyes fluttered open, landing on Mira's tear-streaked face. He whispered, You saved me," and for the first time in his life, his voice carried no arrogance, only gratitude and disbelief. The ambulance arrived minutes later, but it was Mira who cradled his head, wiping the blood from his forehead with the edge of her sari, whispering comfort like a mother to a child. In the days that followed, Arhav recovered in the hospital. His father brought the best doctors money could buy, but Arhav knew deep inside his life had been saved not by wealth, not by power, but by the courage of a poor maid who had nothing except compassion. When he returned home, things began to change. No longer did he brush past the servants without seeing them. No longer did he believe money attracted true loyalty. Instead, he began to greet them, thank them, and even help them. One morning, he called Mira and her baby to the family hall. She stood nervously, unsure why she had been summoned. Arhav bowed his head before her, something no one in the mansion had ever seen. "Mira ji," he said softly, "I was trapped under steel, surrounded by people, but it was your kindness that lifted me out. You saved not only my life, but also my heart." He arranged for her baby's education, secured a safe home for them, and insisted she never work as a maid again. But more importantly, he carried the lesson of that day forever, that true richness does not lie in money, but in humanity. The world outside continued to move fast, but within Rav, a seed of humility had grown. He learned to live differently, to see the invisible, to respect every soul, and whenever people asked him about the scar on his arm, he would smile and say, "This scar reminds me of the day a poor maid became my savior, when no one else would help." Kindness can come from the humblest hands, and it is the most priceless gift of all. So remember, dear listener, sometimes the greatest heroes are the ones the world overlooks. And sometimes, the richest souls are those who have nothing